And welcome back. Remember that in the previous lesson, we started talking about the weak set object, where we talked about the fact that the collection or the values of weak set must be objects. And in that previous example, let me just pull it up again so that you understand better. You notice that in this very example, after creating a new weak set using the new constructor, then we made an object, and that object was added to the weak set using the add method. And then we now checked using the hash method if our weak set contains the object that we claim to have added to it. And we were able to see the output that gave us true. And at one point false when we switched the conditions. And so that showed us what showed us what and how we can check for the presence of an object as the values of a weak set. So in this video, let me just give two more practical examples. The first one is going to check for whether what we have already contains an object, and the second one is going to be about how you can actually use looping method to work with your set. So that is what we are trying to achieve in this particular example. So let's just quickly dive in so that you see what we are talking about in full. So number one, I would take this out. Then I want to create new weak sets. New weak sets. And the usual way we already know. Let me use const and call it my weak sets equals to new weak sets. Now that I have what I call a weak set, now I can create an object which will be added to what I have up here. So const my object equals to this name lessons last name cool. And I can add age. I'll call it 30. Let me see. By adding age, I want to see what will happen actually. And now I can add the object to my weak set. And how? By using what I call the add method, like just as we saw in the previous example. And now let's add my object to our weak new set, our weak set that we already had earlier. Now that I've added this to my weak set, then I want to do something different from the previous example. I want to delete the objects from this weak set. And how do I do that? So I just passed in the name, my weak set dot the delete method, delete my objects. Now, let's now check if after I've deleted this my object, whether it is still present in what I have in my weak set. Let's find out. So, do I still have my objects in the weak sets? So let me make a variable and assign the value I expect to get to it. So my weak set, which is this, as my object. Now I can say document dot get element by IT. And I can say, okay, I don't want something, I want to add text. Do I still have my object in the weak set? Now, let me pass in the answer to see what will happen. Of course, there's definitely going to be an error. And that is because of the fact that I have seen what the error is, but for when you run into something like this, you can always use the inspect way to check. Don't forget the inspect or any of the browser you are using to check. So look at the error. Uncaught syntax error. String literal contains an unescaped line break. Index 61, 79 on line 61. Now, this is one of the error. Can you see this? Even if I do this, it's still giving the error, which means that unnecessarily, I don't need to break that. So let me just put everything on its own line so that I will run away from that error. And so this way, I think you can see this clearly. And now, there's still an error. And what is that error now? The terminated string literal. There's no quotation mark after this. This is a variable and not a string. So now, see the error I first discovered is this, my Weakset. So the name is wrong. This S is capital letter and not small letter. So I'll just change this to a capital letter and boom. Do I still have my object in the Weakset? False. Do you know why? The reason is because here we have deleted what we have. We have deleted my object from my Weakset. We first added it, then we deleted it. Now, let's try and re-add it. Re-add my objects to the Weakset. Then you can do my Weakset dot add my object. And now you can see what? You can see that from false, it has changed to true. Even though we deleted it, we now re-added it. And that is why this has changed from false to true. So this is another example of a Weakset and its interpretation in JavaScript. So it always return a Boolean value of either true or false, and you can combine a set method in order to test for condition before you finally arrive at a desired answer, just as we did now in this example. So this is how Weakset works in JavaScript. And in the next lesson, we are going to be moving on concerning this lesson that we've been talking about. So before then, don't forget that you should try to always, make your own examples and use it to see where you hit a roadblock, and then check back for how you can fix it when you hit your own roadblock, so that you can internalize all the lessons that are coming from these videos. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Till then, enjoy.